Pilates video is for people with neuromuscular conditions to help support the exercises that you may have been given by your physiotherapist in your muscle clinic. It is important that you warm up prior to exercising. For example, if you have myocardial disease, ensure that you're in your second wind before starting these exercises. You may need to transition in and out of exercises if you have other conditions, for example, certain types of channelopathies. For conditions that cause fatigue, for example myasthenia, or where exercise may trigger symptoms, for example channelopathies, ensure that you do a low number of repetitions and you have enough rest break prior to each exercise. If you have any pain or discomfort, stop and seek advice from your physiotherapist. So this is shoulder prep. So we're going to start lying on your tummy. Okay, so if you place your arms down by your side, and you might need something just to rest your head on. Okay, so in this position, you're thinking about length. So length from the top of your head all the way down to your tailbone. Try and relax your shoulders down to the mat. If you feel you're not able to maintain that position, you can always pop something underneath your hips to give you a nice flat back. You want to engage those core muscles as we did before. And with this exercise, you're thinking about your shoulder blades coming down. Okay, so as you bring your shoulder blades down, you're going to slightly lift your hands up and thinking about length, stretching them towards your toes, and then coming back down. So relax your head as you do this, and you're just thinking shoulder blades down, and lengthen your fingers towards your toes, and then relax down. And then you're going to do one more, so you're thinking length, and down. Okay, so we're going to do limb lifts. So again, starting in your neutral position, trying to think about length from the top of your spine all the way down to your tailbone. Okay, so you've got your arms out in front of you, and we're going to start with just lifting one leg up. So thinking about length again, okay, and back down. So you're thinking about a long leg, so you don't have to lift it very high, but you're just thinking a long leg. As you're doing this, you're relaxing your shoulders, and you're thinking about being level across your hips. Okay, like you've got a tray of drinks across your hips, and you don't want to spill those drinks. Okay. And then we're going to do one arm at a time. So lifting one arm, and then back down. So again, when you do this, you're keeping your shoulder blades down, and you're lifting one arm at a time. Okay, and one more. And then you're going to alternate arms and legs. So you're going to lift your right arm and your left leg at the same time, keeping level through here and back down. And then you're going to do it the other side. If this feels a bit challenging, you can bring your arms into this position. Okay, and again, lifting one arm and leg, so thinking about length with your leg, length, and back down. That's great. Okay, so in 4-point kneeling, we're just going to show you the correct position to be in 4-point kneeling. So you're going to bring your hands underneath your shoulders, okay? And bring your knees forward so that they're underneath your hips. In this position, you're thinking about tilting your pelvis. So like we've done before, tilting your pelvis down and then up. Okay, so you're going to do that a couple of times, and then you're going to find that neutral spine. So where your back is nice and flat. And when you've found that position, you're going to engage your core muscles, and you're going to think about pulling your belly button towards your spine. Then from this position, keeping nice and level across your back, we're going to lift one leg out behind you. Keeping your hips nice and level, and then bringing it back in. And then one more on the other side. Keeping nice and level through here, and come back. If this feels too difficult, you can slide your foot, keeping your toes on the mat. So if you slide your foot back, keeping nice and level through your hips, and then coming back and sliding back your right foot, and then coming back. You can do the same, keeping your legs down and bringing one arm up at a time. Again, you're wanting to make sure that your neck is nice and long, so you're looking at a point just in front of your hands. Okay, keep those tummy muscles tucked in as you're doing this. Keep nice and level across your hips. And then if you want to, you can then go and do opposite arm and opposite leg. Okay, and back down. If this feels a bit challenging, you can again keep your foot on the ground and slide it back as you lift up a hand. And then come back. And one more on each side. So keeping nice and level through the hips. So you're wanting to keep nice and flat as you're doing it. This is leg pull and prone, so you're going to start again in your neutral position, again long through the crown of your head and your tailbone, looking at a point just in front of your hands. You're going to tuck your toes in underneath you. You're going to inhale to begin, and then as you exhale, you're just going to hover your knees, and then inhale and exhale to come back down. Okay, so pull your tummy muscles in. You're going to inhale, and then as you exhale, hover your knees, inhale and exhale to come back down. We're going to go into child's pose now. Okay, so this is just a really nice stretch. So start with your hands out in front of you a little bit, and then what you're wanting to do is sink your hips back onto your heels. And just have a nice stretch there. You can rest your head down onto the mat and just let the stretch come down through your back and your arms. You can either have your knees together, or if you feel you want more of a stretch, you can have your knees further apart and just come down into that stretch and stretching your lower back. This is plank leading into downward dog. So tuck your toes in underneath you. Okay. And then you're going to lift your knees up. So nice and strong through your tummy muscles. Keep your neck nice and long. Then you're going to shoot your hips up towards the sky, bringing your shoulders back. Then you're going to straighten out again into plank. So drop your hips down to tabletop position, and then knees down onto the mat and come to rest. So if you do that again, you're going to tuck your toes underneath you. You're going to lift your knees up. Then you're going to shoot your hips up towards the sky. Shoulders come back. Then you're going to reverse that movement, coming back into plank and nice and straight across your back, bending your knees and coming to rest. This is thread the needle, so it's a nice stretch for your upper back. So starting again in 4-point kneeling, you're going to take your right hand and you're going to tuck it underneath your left arm. And you're just going to rotate, you're aiming for your shoulder to dip down. And you hold that position. You're going to have a slightly bent elbow on your left hand. And then you're going to come back into 4-point kneeling. You could also, if you have a roller, you could place your hand on top of the roller. And again, the same thing. So as you roll the roller away, you're going to get a nice twist of your thoracic spine. And then coming back into position. And then place your hand down again.